So, you know what, I was just saying to some people here earlier on, I didn't want to launch the book because everything else that we launched over the last 5 years kind of went belly up, so I thought maybe if we didn't launch the book it might be a success. But anyway, such is life. I also want to tell you that I've been getting sort of, I think the book is selling very well in Clonmel, and we're starting the roadshow. I'm working very hard at that at the moment, but I got a text the other night. I'm getting sort of Facebook messages and texts the whole time from people around town who are reading it, and one guy texted me, he's self-employed and he's been going through a very difficult time recently, and I've been talking to him and blah blah blah. Apparently I've turned into a bit of a guru counsellor, but anyway, he said to me, I just want to say from one self-employed person to another, I can only say to you that the book is amazing. He said it's a great story, and he said I want to honestly say to you, thank you for having the courage to write it. And then he had used up all the characters in the text, so then a second text came in a couple of minutes later, and I just wanted to tell you that I sold the book for 10 quid today to my best friend. I improved my cash flow by 10 quid, and I knew you would approve. That was a genuine text. But you know what? The story of Shepherd's Pie came less than 12 months ago when I made a speech in Manila, and when you think about it, it's less than 12 months since I made that speech, and then I found myself with Clodagh in Dublin yesterday doing a press lunch, and to come out into the big bookshop outside the Ilex Centre and walk into it and see your book on the shelf there is kind of weird, or to walk into the one inside the Ilex Centre and see your face looking back out is kind of weird. What really bugged me was that they have the charts, right? So I looked, #1 bestseller, Joe Duffy, #2, number 19, number 28, number 53. I eventually found it, so I took about half a dozen books and I brought them up and I took Joe Duffy's down. And then I walked away, so I was very happy with myself when I walked out. But can I just say this on a serious note? Because we've been doing TV, and I'm off to TV3 tomorrow, and we've got more stuff lined up for next week. I've been getting these requests from different business people around the place saying, how do you do this and how do you do that? And you know, when I met Clodagh 12 months ago, I said, when the book comes out next year, I think the here and now story is going to be about debt forgiveness, and it's going to be about mortgage arrears. And I think that the fear and the grief that I was going through, I think other people are going to be going through, and we need to talk about it publicly. So I just want to share a letter that was handed to me, and I know one or two people have heard this already. Clodagh was with me yesterday, and Anne was with me in Dublin yesterday. But before I left for wherever I was on Tuesday, Dublin doing something, before I left, I met with two people at 9 o'clock in the morning that had called me and asked me to meet. And they're two self-employed people. And I was very conscious because they were 60 and 61 years of age, and who am I to give them advice? They've done an awful lot more than me. But during my conversation with them, one of the men said to me, I sat at home recently, exactly the 20th of October, which actually is this day last week, and I wrote myself a letter. And I thought that would kind of caught my ear. And he said, I want to give you this letter, and he sent me the letter later that day, which I read at 6 o'clock yesterday morning. And I just want to read this to you, because this is actually why I wrote the book, for this very reason. And this is 1 week ago, and I'm going to stall when the names come up, because I want to change this man's name. It says, hello to all involved in my business and in my negotiations. He's negotiating with an Irish bank at the moment, and this is where his fear is. I'm not in the office today. I'm working from home, and I haven't, and not having a good day. I didn't sleep much last night, like many other nights. I'm suffering severe headaches for the last couple of months. My head is spinning, and I need to know my thoughts. If they're a little bit all over the place, please forgive me. I haven't enjoyed one day of my life since I met a certain person in a certain bank. What a bad feeling and a cloud to live under at the age of 61. The last time that I got this feeling, I was in primary school, and he names the school and the location, where I was beaten on a daily basis by an abusive Christian brother who he names. I was lashed with a crooked cane on the hands and on legs for his own perverted reasons. I hated life so much then that I cried every morning of my life when I was going to school, and I only got happiness during the summer and at other breaks, and eventually when I left school at 13. He then says, 50 years on, I now don't like going to work like I didn't like going to school all those years ago. I made myself a promise that I would never again live under that pressure, but I'm back to that feeling, and it says a lot for the abuse and bullying that I'm enduring today. I am being mistreated, bullied, and suffering abuse by Mr. Blank in his role at Mr. Bank. I'm not one to complain, as you can see from my short story. My grandfather, my mother, sorry, my grandfather, my father, my mother, my grandmother, my uncle, and my best friend, who he names.